Hello, and welcome to RV Advisors All Things RV podcast. I am your host, Kathy Conrad. I've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for over 5 years, and I love helping new RVers realize their RV dreams. This podcast is about RV education, resources, adventures, and the amazing people who love RVing. It is also about discovering the freedom RVers experience, the connection with nature that we are all so grateful for, and how RVing enriches our lives. On this podcast, you can expect us to talk about all things RV, including the good stuff, the challenging stuff, and everything in between. So join us weekly and enjoy the lineup of guests we have in store for you. Are you ready to kick off your RV adventures with confidence? Join me for 6 weeks of one-on-one weekly 90-minute sessions, including Q&A, designed to guide you through every step of your RV journey, from choosing the right RV to mastering life on the road. There's a lot to know about RVing, and the more you understand up front, the smoother and more enjoyable your experience will be. I'll guide you through discovering the RV that best fits your camping and travel style, and work with you to develop a smart buying strategy so you can avoid common pitfalls and make a confident, informed purchase. I'll guide you through learning on how to use, maintain, and operate your RV so you can avoid costly mistakes and enjoy stress-free adventures and safe travels. There's a lot to learn, but I'll break it all down into manageable steps so that you can feel confident every step of the way. Your RV is a big investment. Protect it by becoming an informed and empowered RVer. The knowledge you gain in this course will directly impact your confidence, your wallet, and your overall enjoyment. Don't just take my word for it. Visit the testimonials page on my website at rvadvisors.net to hear directly from clients who've taken this course and worked with me one-on-one. Click the link in the show notes below to see the topics covered and pricing. Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. And it is a super windy day here, so you're probably going to be hearing some background noise. The trees are blowing, the wind's blowing, everything's rattling. Anyway, today I wanted to swing over to the challenging side of RVing. And I'm kind of pulling back the curtain and getting a little bit personal because while I love this lifestyle, I'm experiencing some RV life struggles myself right now. And I thought it's something I should probably share because I know I'm not alone. So if you've ever felt stuck in your RV journey, whether you're full-time traveling and maybe experiencing some travel fatigue, or whether you're parked maybe long-term for work and you're feeling, stuck being stationary, or you're like us waiting on a home base plan to come together. I feel stuck and I know I'm not alone. So this one's for you. Anybody who's experienced that, let's talk about what happens when RVing stops feeling like freedom and adventure and you start feeling stuck and maybe stagnant and feeling like you need to make a change. And that's where I'm at right now. So a quick backstory for those of you who don't know, my husband and I were campers. And in 2019, after lots of research, we bought a travel trailer. And we spent the first year and a half or 2 years as weekend warriors and doing long trips over summer vacation. But in May of 21, we decided to sell our house. And the reason we did, we were going to wait till we retired, but the market was high and we're like, gosh, we have the trailer. We could sell the house and live in the trailer, get moved out of state, and then, reestablish our home base. And so the idea behind it was to sell high and buy low. Well, low has not come yet. I'm hoping it's still coming. So the first 2 years we lived in California up at the 49er RV resort. It was really fun. It was a great vibe there. And we met so many nice people. It's a big resort. There were a lot of other people there doing the same thing we were doing. Sold our home, had an RV, and we're waiting on the next chapter, what they're going to do. So we met a lot of people that we become lifelong friends with And in addition, there was a huge vacationer, a lot of people coming through, staying on the weekends and whatever. And it was just a fun vibe. There were a lot of nice families that came there. And it was a tradition for them for a lot of events, every year. So, anyway, that's how we ended up living more stationary. So, my husband got a job in Idaho, so we moved out to Idaho. Our son was shortly behind us with his fifth wheel, got a job with the same company. So that was our ticket out of California. And the plan was to buy a piece of property and build kind of a family compound with a barn dominium and a shop. And now we're 4 years into it, living full time stationary. Now we'll go out some on the weekends in the summer or maybe on a long trip, but it's not as much as we were. And of course, we bought a travel trailer for adventuring and seeing the country. And eventually, when we retire, we'll be traveling for long periods of time. And so, super looking forward to that. But meanwhile, the stationary thing for 4 years is making me feel really stuck. A couple trips over the summer isn't enough for me. We traveled, 2 weekends a month. We'd go camping and then we'd take those long trips. And, it's a lot more effort to basically unpack stuff and button up and pull out than it was just to pick the trailer up from storage, throw in our clothes and food and go. We were very excited to start our journey full time, enjoyed our 2 years, up in the foothills in California. And then it was very exciting to move to a new state and start a new life here. Now we're finishing up 2 years in an RV park. It's not my favorite way to adventure or camp. And I'm feeling it. I want out of the trailer. I want out of the park. I'm feeling stuck. I've lost the feeling of excitement and adventure and a sense of freedom. So that's all kind of faded, and I'm restless. And honestly, I'm just ready for a change. So we're still in the process of getting quotes and numbers together, funding, and all that sort of thing to build. We have located a piece of land that we'd like, but I'm super cautious about jumping into that right now with the economy. The rates haven't come down. Because of land hasn't come down, so we're a little hesitant to do it just quite yet. So here we are in the RV park, and it's like if I was out on a piece of land building and living in the trailer, it wouldn't be so bad. But this is a very different vibe where we are. It's nothing like the 49er. We had a lot of fun there. Here, it's not so much, just different. Things we've thought about. Once we know we've gotten all our numbers together and we've done research sufficient enough to feel comfortable to move forward and start building, that will be great. We'll be moving forward again, right? I just feel like we're stuck. If we decide we need to wait a year, then I think we're going to need to rent a house because I want to get back to camping and adventuring. I don't want to just live in the RV, packed in like sardines in an RV park. It's something that we chose to do. It's taking a lot longer than I thought, and I'm feeling it. So, that's just where I'm at. So, I'm hoping in the next month or two at the most, we've got everything together to make a decision. Are we going to do it now, or are we going to wait? Sometimes you have the best laid plans, and it's the timing that maybe you don't have control over, or some of the circumstances like the economy we don't have control over right now. And it is a cyclical thing, but it's not cycling fast enough for me. It hasn't come down. So I'm just so curious because I know I'm not the only one who's been here. I would love to hear anyone else's story if they've ever felt stuck and feeling isolated, feeling fatigue and burnout from living in an RV or traveling. I know the pace at some people when they start out full time is very fast, and they get the travel fatigue, and then they change it up and stay in places, longer. And I'm curious about other people who have lived in their RV because of their work, and maybe they change locations. Their jobs takes them to different locations, and have you felt burnout from doing that? I would love to hear your stories. So reach out to me, via email or direct message on Facebook or something and let me know. And maybe we have a conversation in another podcast to share your story because I know they're out there. Um, Meanwhile, I'm just trying to hunker down and stay focused on getting the numbers that we need and that sort of thing. But some days it's really a struggle. It's hard to stay focused because I'm just like, plus it's been winter and it's cold. And although, we still spend time outdoors, sometimes it feels like it's just uh, not enough. I miss having my own washer and dryer. I miss having a bigger refrigerator. So in the yard for the dogs. So I'm the kind of person I actually like change. I don't like being stagnant. And so I'm always trying to, reaching for the next thing. And feeling stuck does not feel good to me. It just really doesn't. So I'd be interested how other people have dealt with that sort of thing. So reach out to me, let me know. I'd really love to hear your story. So, meanwhile, that's kind of our plan of action, finish getting our numbers together and decide if we're going to build right away or we're going to wait. The other thing is my daughter-in-law and my son, they're done living in the fifth wheel. They're done. So her parents actually are moving out here in a couple weeks. They rented a house, so they are going to move in with my daughter-in-law's parents to get out of the trailer. It's hard when you have a high energy little boy to live in a small space and not have a good yard for him to go out and play in. So I'm sure there are other moms out there who are homeschooling or stationary or even moving. I'm just curious how you all deal with um, kind of the burnout from that. So anyway, appreciate you listening today. Would love to hear your stories if you're willing to share them. Let me know, and I may follow up then with a subsequent podcast on this topic of feeling burned out or stuck and things that we can do. If we can't make a big change, what are some smaller things that we can do to help get through that time of feeling stuck and stagnant and a loss of freedom and excitement and all those things? So we can talk more about that in another episode. And I appreciate you listening in today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in today to RV Advisors All Things RV Podcast. Please join us again next week for more RV education, resources, adventures, and interesting people. Until then, wishing you amazing adventures, safe travels, and I hope to see you on the road.